Hello, my name is Kate Winter and I am the writer and illustrator of this book, The Fossil Hunter.
It's a narrative non-fiction book about Mary Anning, who lived in the 19th century in Lyme Regis in Dorset.
I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the making of this book, how it came about and some of the kind of things I wanted to think about when I was making it, and also how I make my imagery. So when I start with an idea, there's a lot of research that needs to be done. And because I'm also writing the book, I needed to learn a lot about Mary. So I did a lot of research. I went to Lyme Regis and searched for fossils myself, saw places she lived in. That guided me to write her story. So it was really important that I went and I kept a sketchbook of my time in Lyme Regis, and I drew fossils, and I went to the Sedgwick Museum in Cambridge where some of her finds are, and the Natural History Museum, of course. But I also wanted to draw things from the imagination. And for me, that is extremely important. When I visualize a story and start to think about somebody, it all comes like a film in my mind. And a lot of the key themes appear visually. So ideas of class layer, ideas of the layers of history, and the idea of an object taking Mary on a journey to another time. So awakening her imagination. Those things were really important to me, and I hope you can see in the book where I've tried to explore those themes, you know, with pictures where she uses lamps, for instance, to kind of light the past up. I feel like there's quite a few moments in the book that hints at her mind whirring with ideas. So the first image I actually made was of the fossil cabinet. My dad collected fossils, and he had a kind of wooden cabinet like this. I don't know, I always love things like that in books where, you know, like in The Hungry Caterpillar, where it's like all the delicious things to eat. So I love the idea of them having their own little cabinet of curiosities that they could open up and look at all the different types of fossils. I like to work on my roughs using charcoal. I find that charcoal is so forgiving. It allows me to change things constantly just by rubbing with my finger and adapting the line. I can explore looking at tone in order to get the composition and the feel of the page. And that, of course, helps me when I'm creating my final images. For this book, I worked a lot with dip pen, and then I used washes. I kind of built up the wash, you know, gradually from pale coming up to the darker colours. And then I would go into them with pencil, or I'd often take them into Photoshop. The one of her in the workshop with the ichthyosaur is a really good example of that, because you can see how I've brought in slightly darker areas around the edge and across the top. I've also deleted her brother from this image. So you can do quite a bit in Photoshop without having to redo the whole image, and I find that really useful because it stops me feeling too kind of worried about the image, so I can be nice and loose and not worry if I've made a mistake. Thank you very much, the Klaus Flugge Prize, for giving me this opportunity and for shortlisting me for their amazing prize. And I just want to also take this opportunity to thank all of my team at Penguin, who are incredibly supportive and brilliant. And thank you all for watching.